Okay, so there is a variable, integer variable a, which contains 100, and three pointers are there. So b is a pointer, integer pointer. C is a integer pointer to a pointer, and D is a pointer to that, right? So it's kind of change. Now what has happened? B is a pointer to A, right? B is a pointer to A because the address of A has been stored in B. In the very next statement, address of that B has been stored in C, and in the very next statement, the address of that C has been stored in D, right? So basically, uh, when you write A, the contents of A will be printed, right? When you write star B, what is the star B? The value at the address contained in B. That's why again 100 will be printed. What is star star C? Value at the I will explain this using PPT, right? You have to draw that everything when you solve these kind of questions. So this is A, right? This is this is B. This is C, and this is D, right? Now, uh, now basically this is A, right? This is B, C. This is D. It is like that. Okay. Now what they have done, this is basically the picture is like this. I hope you can see this. And this contains 100, right? So when you print A, it will it will print 100. Why? Because straight away the contents of A will be printed, right? Now, if you print B, if you suppose print B, then contents of B will be printed. But we are not bothered about what are the contents of B. We want to access contents of A to which pointer is pointing. So that's why you attach a single star, right? So attach here single star. So right, star B. Star B is same. Star B is same as A. What is B? This is B. A, this is A, but when I mean A, we actually referring this, no, 100. So similarly, what is B? B is this, the contents in this, right? Some address is there. Suppose this address is 4586, right? This is address of this location. This address is stored here, right? But why? Because B is a pointer to A. That's why address of A is stored in the B. But B is having its own address, right? That is separate memory location. That might be something different, right? Suppose this is 1212, right? We don't know anything, right? Now C contains by writing statement as C is equal to ampersand B, right? So this address is stored here in the C, right? That's why C is a pointer to B, right? But when we say that C is a pointer to B, B itself is a pointer. So that's why declaration statement of C is star star C, star star C. Because even though C contains the address of B, that B again contains an address of integer variable, right? So, and it is having its own, then again, this is having its own address. It might be anything, right? And this again is stored in this variable, right? Again, this is having its own address, but as of now, since this address has not been stored anywhere, so there is no problem, right? So how we can read that D is a pointer, right, which contains an address of a pointer which contains an address of integer pointer. So it is how it is read. D is a variable which contains an address of variable which contains an address of integer pointer. Got that? I hope. So since you have know that A is A, 100 is A, B star B attached, you will get 100. So again, star B is same as A. Attach one more to that. Since address of B has been stored in C, right? One step ahead, right? Let's go step by step. What is C? C is 1212. What is star of that? 4586. What is star of that? 100. Same applies here. Since the again address of C is stored in D, right? What is D? D is 7896, right? D is 7896. And like A is 100, C, this is simple. D is 7896. If you try to print just D, it will print 7896. Okay, on the machine some address, you will get some address. But D is 7896. This is the way to understand pointer. If you attach the star, what is the meaning of what is the meaning of star? Value at this address, right? When you attach the star, value at the address contained in that variable. So what is the value when you write the single star, right? What does it mean? Value at the address contained in D. What is the value at address contained in D? What is the address contained in D? 7896. So value, what is the value at that address contained in D? As it's 7896 1212. So value of this is 1212. Okay. If you attach another star here, right? So what is the value at that 1212? That is 4586. Attach one more star. What is the value at 4586? That is 100. So you get 100, right? I hope it is clear. So I actually explained this question. I mean, when I taught basics of pointer, I taught this. Perhaps you forgot that. Okay, no problem, because pointers are like that. What I told you, first of all, uh, no, this is a very interesting program, and no, it is, you are just first or second year student, but those who no finish their BE and no, these people do not know also all these things. See here the basics of pointer. First of all, one of that actually I explained you concept. You have declared this pointer variable. So PTR is an integer pointer, right? But I told you one thing, but I didn't. I mean, tell you that another thing, which is what you can say result of that. What I told you, I told you that you cannot write like this. I told you that you cannot store any address like this, if you can recall, right? You cannot do this. Why? Because uh, uh, address of variable you can store in pointer, but you cannot store anything like a constant in pointer, right? That is one story, because that is job of operating system. Now, this is one step ahead. What they have written, star PTR is equal to 5. But the major issue is that we know that whenever you declare a variable, be it a normal variable like having primitive data type like integer, character, or float, or pointer variable which is the derived data type, or an array, right? When you declare variables inside function, all these variables contain garbage values, right? Or a junk value, right? As far as normal variable is concerned, garbage values that much do not create any problem. Do not create any problem. At least what at the most what will happen, you will get a wrong output. That's it, right? But pointer in which you have not stored any address and you are trying to play along with that, that is dangerous. The right method here is to you have to declare variable, right, and store address of that, and rather you will declare variable like this, index is equal to 5, right, and you store address of x here. Sorry, uh, sorry, index is equal to 5, index, that's all, right, and you write here ptr is equal to ampersand x. When you have done this much things, this statement is valid, perfect. Why? Because ptr is an integer pointer, x is an integer variable, and you have written one more legal statement, that is ptr contains an address of x. So now when this statement is executed, ptr is pointing to x, right? So if you write star ptr is equal to 5, the 5 will be stored where, to which ptr is pointing. That means inside x 5 will be stored. This is good. If you run this program, so this is the same program. I'm trying to compile here. Here it will compile because there is no problem with the, right. So there is no problem, right? But the earlier problem is like this. This is not there, right? And this is not there. This is dangerous. Why this is dangerous? PTR is a pointer variable and it contains some garbage value. So I will tell you what is happening. I won't execute this statement because that is dangerous, right? And I will try to print uh, the contents of PTR, right? There is no harm in printing contents of PTR. Okay, I can. I mean, uh, Yeah, contents of PTR. I hope you get what I mean. One. Is it so? Contents of PTR is one. One minute. Declare one more variable. I will also print contents of x equal to and contents of PTR equal to percentage slash n and x comma PTR. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I hope you can see this. I don't know how to magnify this, but I hope it is visible to you, right? So I have declared two variables. One is integer, another is a pointer variable, and just trying to print the contents of x and PTR. That's it. So if you can read, contents of x are 0 and contents of PTR is 37. Okay, now x contains 0, that is by chance. Contents of PTR is 37. What do you mean by 37? Now, even though you have not, even though you have not stored address of any variable, compiler feels that PTR is pointing to memory location having address as 37. So, in the very next statement, if you write star PTR, since that PTR contains 37, compiler feels that PTR is pointed and there is nothing wrong in that. As far as if you think from compiler's point of view, compiler is confirmed that PTR is pointing towards where the memory location having address is 37. Okay, so when you write star PTR, what compiler will do? Compiler will go to PTR. It will see what is inside PTR. Inside PTR, it finds 37. It will go at the memory location of 37, and at that memory location, it will store 5. Now, basically, this memory location having address 37 doesn't belong to you. So at that address, anything can be there. Anything can be there. Any system file might be there. Okay, any driver might be there because you are on the RAM. Okay, you have been given some segment. Data segment is there. There might be some compiler's own code might be there. Anything can be there. So that will be corrupted. Okay, because you are overwriting that, whichever content already are there, those will be overwritten, and you are storing file that. So there are greater chances that you will get the runtime error. So this is absolutely wrong, and computer's terminology, this is called uninitialized pointer. The most dangerous thing, the best thing, the best option in on this. Okay, the solution on this is when you write like this, initialize it to null, right? Initialize to right, so that PTR is not pointing to any location. Null is an abstract concept. Null doesn't mean pointing to zeroth memory location. Null means pointing nowhere, right? So now PTR is equal to whatever you want to write, ampersand AX, Y, whatever, right? And then you can write star PTR is equal to whatever, no problem, right? So contents of X are 444 and contents of PTR is 6487572. Why? Because contents of PTR is address of X. So address of X is 6487572. So the legal way of handling and declaring and pointer and accessing contents of X and all these things. So I hope that is. These questions I have intentionally given in the quiz. What is the reason? If I had taught this, you must have forgotten that. But since it becomes a part of the quiz, okay, and you ask me, now you will remember this forever. And that is the intention to design that quiz. I hope concept is clear. Okay, your ID printed for you, not any garbage value. See, uh, yeah, this one also will print ID. If you want to see, if I write here, I'll explain again. Extremely sorry. Uh, if I run this program, right, there is no error, no warning. When I'm running this, and see, there is no output. And if you say here, if you see here, I hope you can see is there is no output. Process exited after 2.15 second with return value something. Press any key to continue. So program didn't give any output. Sorry for not sharing the screen. I no, I get so much involved in the program so that I forgot that process. So it doesn't mean that it won't happen on your own machine. It happened, but each time it won't. So we have to take care of that. Uninitialized pointer is dangerous always. So it is our responsibility as soon as you declare a pointer variable, before you use that pointer variable, address of variable, appropriate address of appropriate variable. If you declare variable like no, suppose you declare variable like float, right, and you tries to store uh, address of like int star ptr is equal to ampersand x. This is bad. Again, probably this will give you compile time error. No, still it is not giving, but it is giving initially from incompatible pointer type, right? Incompatible. Why? Because x is a float variable, and you are storing address of float variable in integer pointer. Dangerous, right? Dangerous. So I hope this is clear. You can ask me any questions from that quiz, and to ask questions, you need to go through quiz and all these things. Switch over, right? And assignment. So to this statement we call it is a initialization, right? And in P, and P is equal to suppose Q, sorry, 10 something, right? We call this as the declaration and assignment, right? Declaration and assignment. If the declaration and assignment is on the same statement, we call it as the initialization. If we try to no, apply the same analogy to array, now this is initialization. Okay, no, don't think about marks. Marks is very poor marks. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, uh, that is very poor marks. So I will say no. Marks is a rubbish system. Marks, giving marks, I don't like at all, right from my education. Marx is a rubbish system designed and developed and gifted by British people in India, unfortunately. Because who is the other person who will know judge your intelligence only by just 100 marks paper? Wrong. I think you will agree all of me. Because I don't like. That's why I don't take examination. If you see that, I don't like examination system. That is bad. This has failed. This is passed. This has got first rank and all these things. Because we never heard Bill Gates, Einstein, Newton. They passed examination and that's why they are Superman. No. So I never ever in my life took any examination seriously. I just studied. That's it. So that is different story. Let's come to the subject. If we apply the same analogy here, this is initialization, right? Nothing wrong in that. I also told you that when you initialize, you don't need give size of an array. That is okay, right? But suppose if you declare array like this, right? And if you want to initialize that now or assign whatever, and if you write like this, because you are following the concepts of built-in data types, right? If you write like this, then this statement is wrong, right? This is not allowed. There are reasons why it is not allowed. In the future, I'm going to tell you about that because this is not the right time. But I'm going to discuss this, and many no, I will tell you. Even BE computer engineers who are placed in the company, if he is asked this question, no guarantee that he will be experienced. Probably he may say that this is not allowed. Why? Because it is taught like that in the college. This is not allowed. So at least if he knows that, if he can recall that, he will say, "Okay, this is not allowed." Why this is not allowed? He is not able to understand that, explain that. That is sure. Why? Because you need to understand the core concepts of pointers, right? And I will teach you that. Don't worry. Right. So let's uh, where were we? Initialization, assignment, that we have seen everything. Now pointers, right? Pointers. Remove this. Now uh, possible operations on pointers, right? I'll put it in a this thing, right? Comments. Arithmetic operations on pointers. We are going to see that, right? So, which are valid arithmetic operations on pointers? This has got connection along with the array. That's why I didn't teach it in the last chapter. That was the intention. That was the reason. So, valid arithmetic operations are adding a constant to the pointer, right? Subtracting a constant from the pointer and comparing two pointers. These are only three valid operations on the pointer. These are conditional statements. So, adding constant to the pointer, you can add that. Subtracting constant from the pointer, provided uh, pointers point to uh, two pointers point to same array, right? Because basically arrays pointers are useful for accessing array elements, right? uh, uh, as far as efficiency is concerned, speed is concerned, and everything, and internally arrays access only using the pointer, right? So even though you don't declare pointer, compiler handles array elements and accessing all these through their own pointers. So internal pointers are working over there, right? Java, Python, everywhere at the base level pointers work, and that is one cannot deny that, right? Without pointers, life is really pointers make your life miserable, but without pointers, computer cannot work. That is also true, right? And comparing two pointers. So two pointers can be compared, uh, provided again pointers are pointing to same array, right? You cannot compare two pointers pointing to different arrays. That is a bit no. The comparing is wrong. Okay, um, it is not logical comparing first of all, right? So And what are invalid operations? Multiplication of two pointers, no point, right? Division of two pointers, uh, and addition of two pointers. Okay. Subtracting. Um, okay, one more operation is I forgot to write. One more operation is subtracting one pointer from another pointer. That is also valid. I forgot to write this. But addition of two pointers is not valid. Right? This is not valid. Okay. So uh, let's take a simple program. There is an array of numbers. Suppose array of 10 elements. Right? I'm initializing it so that we won't waste time in no input and all these things. So how to initialize that? Writing random numbers is very difficult. Though it is random, it is really painful. Have you tried that in the past? 3 and 3, 6 and 3, 9. One more. I forgot my tea as well. It has become cold tea. Okay. Now, if I declare a variable and I showed you how to access this. Let's write that again. So for I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to 9, I plus plus, right? I'll write here printf percent 5d, right? And we used to write that num of I, right? Simple example, but intricacies, that is very important. How it works. Listen everything carefully. What happens here? I don't know what is the problem. Am I made mistake? Any mistake? Yes. So that is an array, right? That press any key to continue is sometimes irritating. We cannot see the core message of that or core output of that program, right? So it is now good to watch. Now, what I mean here, if I declare a variable here, int star ptr, one pointer variable, right? Why I declared integer pointer? Because the array is integer, right? Array is a integer. Now I can access this whole array using pointer variable, right? How to do that? I will uh, I will first of all I will point that pointer to first element of an array. I will write ptr is equal to, how to write this? You wanted to store an address of x in pointer variable ptr. You wrote uh, ptr is equal to ampersand x. Now here in this array, you want to store an address of first element of an array. Here onwards, listen carefully. Address of first element of an array you want to store. So I will write and num of 0, right? So first element of an array, right? Now, now I will write. Let's see how to print whole array. I will write here. I want to execute this for 10 times because now I do not need any index. I'll write here printf, right, percent d, suppose 3d, right, and I'll write now ptr is pointing to first element of an array. So star of that will give you first element. That's it. PTR is pointing to first element of an array. Or address of first element of an array is stored in PTR. So PTR is pointing towards first element of an array. If you attach star dereferencing operator, right? PTR is referencing to first element. Dereference that. Reverse that process. Attach the star. Attach star to whom? PTR, right? So star PTR, I'll put this in a comment. I'll write here printf, right? Right here percent d, right? Suppose 5d and comma. I have stored address of first element in PTR, so I will write star PTR. That's it. I'm not writing anything else, right? And if I run this code, it will print 45, right? It will print 45. It's simple. Address of 45 has been stored in PTR. You attach the star, it will print 45. That's it. Value at that address, right? Now we have been told possible operations on the pointer. Possible operations on the pointer. What is the one of the possible operation? You can add a constant to the pointer. So make use of that, right? I'll remove this. I'll remove the comments. And what I will do here, I'm writing here star PTR. So PTR is uh, star PTR will print that 45. Rather, it will access 45. Now I will write PTR is equal to PTR plus 1. Right? Now you can recall why I actually told you that x is equal to x plus 1 and all these concepts in the past. The reason is the roots of this statement are there, okay, a few days back. If I didn't explain that statement, didn't spend a lot of time over there, probably you will be confused here. PTR is equal to PTR plus 1. What is this? Mathematically, this is wrong. No. In mathematics, that is wrong. In C, it is right. Why? Because in C, the expression on the right hand side is executed first, and the value of that expression is assigned to variable on the left hand side. So PTR, what is the value of the PTR? Some address might be there. Some address. In that, one is added. What do you mean by one then? Now, this one is one location, right? One element. Why? Because uh, let's come to that this part, right? Since you have got that animation course along with you, I don't need to worry too much about these fundamentals because you are going to understand all this from the animation part. So this is how it looks array, right? There is there is a pointer variable here, right? And this is actually the PTR, right? And this is num, name of an array. This is No, name of an array, right? And this is name of an array. And this is individual name of an array. Individual name of an array. Don't get confused. Num0, right? I will not copy this, because it will take a lot of time. I will give couple of this thing. Last, this will be num of 9, right? This is num0, num1, num2, num3, 4, 5, 6, 9, right? Now what is done here? PTR is a pointer, and by writing PTR is equal to ampersand num of 0, you are pointing this here. Now PTR is pointing first location. Now suppose this the base address is something like this, 52418. Suppose this is the base address, right? So if integer is taking 4 bytes of memory, right, then this will be address of this location. Next element, what is the address of next location? That will be 22, right? What will be address of next location? 26. Likewise, right? And so on. So since this now since PTR, in the PTR we have stored address of the first element, this is stored over there, right? This is stored here. This is stored over here. That is the reason it is pointing to that location. Got that? This address tells the compiler where PTR should point, where pointer should point. Now, when I write a statement as PTR is equal to PTR plus 1, because you can add a constant to the pointer, right? You can add constant to the pointer. PTR plus PTR is a 52418. So it won't make mathematical addition. So PTR will not contain 52419. No, it will increment on the basis of type of pointer. So it is an integer pointer. So it knows that integer takes 4 bytes. So the final value of this will be removed, and it will store 22, right? And since it is 22, pointer will point here, right? Pointer will point here, and here suppose some 45 is there, and here suppose 88 is there, and some numbers are there, whatever, right? Now since PTR is we have written the statement inside the loop, and we are incrementing that pointer, right? Pointer will point to the next location, and again that star PTR will print or access element at the second memory location, that is this much, this memory location, right? So if I run this code now, it will print the same array. That's it. It will print the same array, right? That is the use of the pointer as far as array is accessed, right? Now, what is the use of this is, a lot of uses are there, first of all, but we will see what operations are performed first of all, right? So you can one more I forgot in that valid operation. You can add a constant to the pointer. You can subtract a constant from the pointer. Okay. Even though I mean, I will not forget anything, right? Forget anything while teaching. But even though suppose I forget, everything is there in the e-learning, so you don't need to worry about that. You may think, what if sir forgets, and no, you will not come to know any time in the future. It won't happen. So now suppose I think this is under. So all these again rules can be applied here, no? So it can be PTR is equal to PTR plus 1. You can write PTR plus plus. So this is valid plus plus PTR. That everything is because PTR plus PTR is equal to PTR plus 1 is PTR plus plus. That's same thing. So you can write here PTR plus plus. No problem, right? Or plus plus PTR or even that this one also do because basics are same, no? PTR plus equal to 1, that is also valid, right? Now similarly a constant can be subtracted from the pointer. Suppose I write here I am storing an address of uh, I'm storing an address of um, ninth element here, right? So if I write and I will write PTR is equal to PTR minus 1, right? PTR is equal to PTR minus 1. So if I run this code, it will print array in the reverse order, right? We can see that because we had stored address of last element in the PTR, so pointer was here, so it prints 74. Again, you went on, subtracting one from that pointer each time inside the loop. So, but we will go through that. That is called a traversal of the array, right? That is called a array traversal. Okay, you are traversing the array. So array you are traversing the forward direction or a reverse direction, right? Suppose I write so one thing we saw, that is addition of constant, and we saw um, multiplication of no sorry addition of constant and subtraction of constant from the pointer, right? One more is comparison of pointers, right? So if we want to compare, suppose elements at two locations, suppose element at this and element at this, right? So let's see. So there should be one pointer one, right, and pointer two, right? So there are two pointers, pointer one and pointer two. I'm just showing you. If I write PTR 1 is equal to I want to show you this. I want to show you the comparison of pointers. So there are many ways. I just thought an idea how I can show by printing the array and explain the same thing. Okay, I will store the address of num0 here, right? I'll store the address of last element, right? No. See there, once you understand the basics, now you can do anything along here. Right? Everybody will think in different way, right? I mean, anything, right? There, the mistakes are bound to happen while dealing along with the pointer. So, if I write while, right, PTR 1 is less than or equal to PTR 2. I'm comparing. I told you, no, two pointers can be compared provided they point to the same memory location. Right, printf. Let's say I have not written this kind of program, but just playing along with the pointers. Right, so 3D and write star ptr1, right, and write ptr1 plus plus, right. So will it print? It should print. Yes, it is printed, right. So whole array. So what I mean, two pointers can be compared. So what is saying, execute the loop till ptr1 is less than or equal to. So when this ptr1 will go ahead of this location, the condition will become false and control will come outside, right. So this is how anything can be done, just no playing along with the patterns. It may happen that somebody writes ptr2 is equal to ptr1 plus. No, what is important is 1 plus 9 or 1 plus 10. Confusion again, right? So even I am also confused, because pointer is like that. 45 to 10 elements are printed. Yes, alas. So somebody will write like this instead of storing that address of no last element, right, 9. So I just write ptr, because and we know that addition can constant, I mean constant can be added to the pointer. So ptr1 is this, I added 9 to that and store in ptr2, right. That's it. But don't make mistake that adding 9 to the ptr1 will not start pointing to some other location. Just 9 is added to ptr1. Ptr1 will point to here this location, but ptr2 will point to 74. Do you get what I mean? I hope I'm telling a lot of things. Okay, a lot of things are there. Okay, and video is going to be there along with you. So watch this video again. Tomorrow we will continue.